Welcome back to Cancer Buzz. I'm your host, Summer Johnson. Today we're talking about strategies to make it easier for both patients and community cancer centers to participate in clinical research. This information is featured in an e-poster at this year's ASCO annual meeting. That's May 30th through June 3rd in Chicago. Kimberly Demirin from the ACCC team is here to tell us more.
So this poster came out of a summit that we had back in October of 2024. It was hosted by ACORI, which is ACCC's Community Oncology Research Institute. The summit was focused on inclusive clinical trial design for community cancer centers. We brought in about 70 different practitioners from academic and community cancer centers, as well as advocacy partner organizations, both patient-facing and provider-facing, industry members from pharmaceutical companies and tech-related companies, and then members of government agencies like the FDA, ACORI, National Cancer Institute, to come together to really have robust conversation about what needs to be addressed in clinical trial design to make it more inclusive for a broad, diverse, representative patient population, but also to be inclusive so community cancer centers can participate in clinical trial research. This poster came out of that summit. And what we did was we had a day and a half of conversations, and we took everything that we talked about across every single session that we had and really looked at what were the key themes that came out of that. Those are the 5 priority areas that we address in the poster.
Kimberly, can you tell us more about the topic areas?
So those areas are strengthening the clinical trial workforce, which is kind of focusing on expanding roles of advanced practice providers and the clinical trial navigators. And that is helping with kind of reducing administrative burdens, enhancing patient support, and providing more broad clinical trial operations. We looked at optimizing trial design to reflect real-world patient populations. And that is really focused on assessing eligibility criteria to make it more reflective of the patient populations that we see out in the community, simplifying protocols so we're not accidentally eliminating patients based off of kind of benign factors, and then really engaging our community providers early on in the design process to make sure that we're being inclusive in what we're doing. We looked at expanding research access through decentralized clinical trials. So kind of learning what those are and how to overcome some of the logistical barriers that go into those types of trials. Engaging our communities outside of clinical trial interactions. So, really taking a proactive approach to community relationships to really not talk about clinical trials just after a patient's diagnosed, but making sure clinical trials is kind of on the tip of your tongue throughout your healthcare journey. And then the big topic that kind of spanned through everything we talked about was leveraging AI and digital tools to help increase the ability to do clinical trials and do them with more transparency, more ethically, and more efficient.
Why is it so timely to talk about this issue right now?
So, I think that we have seen a massive transformation in healthcare really over the last 5 years. So you think about kind of global events like COVID really transformed the way that we were looking at and delivering care. And we had to make a lot of rapid transitions fast. And then the growth of the AI bubble, if you will. We are seeing a massive increase in availability of AI tech tools and the integration of those into oncology care, but also oncology research. And so I think it's a really important time to be addressing this and looking at what are the opportunities we have to kind of transform the way we think about clinical trials, so how we think about the delivery and the access to them, because we need to get trials out to as many people as possible and not only deliver it to a small portion of people that are living in, heavily academic urban areas. We want to reach patients across the board. So as we're devising, new treatments and innovations in therapy, that they're not only going to affect a singular population, that they're going to be effective for everyone in America.
Thank you, Kimberly. The poster will be available to view online at the end of the day on May 22nd, and we'll have more information at our booth during the annual meeting. Thank you for listening. Until next time, for the Cancer Buzz team, this is Summer Johnson.
This show is a resource of the Association of Cancer Care Centers.